So as humans, we all want to know the purpose of our existence on Earth. It's just one of our natural tendencies to know, what am I doing here? What is really happening here? And we asked ourselves questions about, kind of our plans for the future. And why do we wake up every morning, right? So the sense of purpose is essentially what drives the human to wake up in the morning with excitement to face the day ahead. And without this sense of purpose, it can be challenging to push yourself away from that pillow to kind of get your day started because you're just unclear about what is it that you're doing all of this for. So, and a lot of us has experienced this kind of slump and it becomes kind of stressful and sometimes depressing to feel just so unproductive and empty when you don't feel like you have a purpose that you're here to fulfill. So, and this can actually affect our days. And sometimes we go days and weeks and months and years, waiting for this feeling to leave us, thinking that just another day and we need to just kind of endure it and just keep going. But in fact, maybe there's something more to it. And if we're talking about from an organizational perspective and purpose of an individual, according to McKinsey & Company, this was really recent in 2021, 89% of employees said that they want purpose in their lives, particularly as it relates to their jobs. Obviously, they want to do something that adds value and purpose to the overall lives of others, perhaps, etc. Right? So basically what we're saying is that at the end of the day, you don't want to work just for the sake of working. You want to work towards something because you feel aligned with the mission of the company, the values, etc. Overall, however, 62% of employees, they want to get more purpose from work. So what that means is that there's a big disconnect between what people actually get at work versus how they feel about work. And of course, as always, there's two parties that are responsible. One is the individual that you need to take steps to find out what that purpose is, but also on organizational level. What's interesting about this study, Ivan, is that a lot of the senior management, as they grow in their careers, they understand that purpose of the company, of how they play a role in that particular situation. But somehow there's a gap between letting people know, of the rest of the organization, what are we really doing here? And how does each individual contribute to that larger vision of the organization, no matter where you are on the career ladder? And this is, part of it is because the managers tend to kind of have all the knowledge up top and they understand it, but then they don't do a very good job kind of, sending it down to the rest of the team and sharing that big picture that would actually help employees understand their individual contribution to the overall mission of the company.
Elena.
Hi guys, Elena here from Western. If you're enjoying this episode, please make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on weekly new videos that we have coming out on personal and professional development topics. Also, feel free to send your questions and engage with us and comment in the YouTube videos in the comment section below. Now back to
Elena. Totally right what you're saying, but often, in fact, there is a little bit of misunderstanding about what it means purpose at work. So we always have a tendency to say if people are aware about what is the mission of the company, things are going to happen. But believe me, being the number one in retail, being the number one in FMCG, being the number one in production of engineering services in the world, it's not something relatable for us human. It's not something that connects with us, that touches our hearts, because at the end, if we want to have people motivated, it needs to touch our inside. So purpose at work is more about contributions beyond ourselves, beyond the company. So for instance, let me give you an example. There is this very cool company called Kiva, a non-profit. They are doing a lot of like microloans for poor people. So that these microloans will help them to create new businesses, have an entrepreneurial venture, and start really earning money. So believe me, that is something that really goes in tune with most of us humans. We would like to work for this type of companies, but it doesn't have to be something that is really about social retribution to our community, but it has to be meaningful, where there is a contribution to the overall of our community. For instance, Besser, us, we are not providing training to the top players in the Middle East. We are enabling employees to choose and live the dream job with the best of their capacity. We kind of give them like this gift of having the mindset, motivation, and method to thrive at work. So that's a little bit more compelling. It's something that when employees hear about it, they feel connected to that. So it is time, in fact, to drill down. How can we do it? So what actions should we do? So something that you have already mentioned is about communication and positively impose the purpose of your organization. I don't have this purpose in my organization. I just have a mission and I just have the target of what I need to achieve during the year. So it is a little bit difficult, but now what you have as opportunity as a leader, especially when you have a mini team, is to simply help your employees to reflect and connect and do it again, like having iterations of how can it be this something more meaningful for me, something that it relates to me as an employee to not only the things that I do, but the things that my company is providing to the rest of the community. We should always find ways where we can provide opportunities for employees to realize the purpose on their daily job work, provide them the opportunity to speak out about their concerns about how connected we are with the purpose, and convert the typical mission statement that I was joking about just before into what it brings to customers, what it brings to employees, to the user of what we do. And it's not a slogan like an ad. It's not like Coca-Cola doesn't have like purpose to bring happiness. Happiness is what they communicate in their advertising. So it is something that is less relatable, but what is Coca-Cola doing in order to have impact in our world? We have examples, in fact, and of companies who is not only about providing to the society, being good with society, but living it in every action that we do and amending our business model accordingly. For instance, we have Danone. So we know that it's a 25 billion large and highly successful consumer good company. They are selling yogurt. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. They have defined their business purpose as providing healthy food. It's not that they are not giving money away to poor people. It is something that is in a different way impactful for our society. We all need to live healthier lifestyles. So that decision, when they took this decision, which is not what they have been promising to shareholders, what they have been promising to their suppliers, it is for them to create a sense of belonging that we are all on this of creating healthy food. As of that moment, they decided even to get rid of certain of their business units. They were selling biscuits. Now they don't. Just because they had something in their purpose, and they communicated to their employees, and their employees took some certain choices regarding how to create business. Purpose is also created when employees feel self-realized. They feel like they are learning continuously. They have opportunities to grow as a person. At the end, and this is a big discussion, Elena, that we have always got about self-actualization, how important it has been in our current society for us to be the best version of ourselves, self-actualization. So you get self-actualized when you have opportunities to learn and apply what you learn. You get the sense of purpose when you feel accomplishment, when you feel not only that you are doing good for the society, but you feel that you are doing kind of continuously improving, a little bit like a master of sushi, someone who has been doing for 20 years the same again and again, looking for perfection. So you know my theory about sushi. It cannot be done if you don't have 20 years of experience. So there are ways in order to make employees to acquire this sense of purpose that is not always related about the good of our community, but is something that is inspiring. So converting, creating, crafting, co-creating together with your team this inspiring version of what the company is doing is something that is quite necessary, and it creates this sense of belonging to a community. It creates this sense that we are all working together in a single-minded good thing that we are doing. When we feel that our meaning of life, and you mentioned it at the beginning, right? It was almost related to this meaning of life, that we need to feel useful? Why are we here? So that's something that is important, to take the time and co-create with your teams this purposely driven organization.
And it's we've been kind of teasing people about this, but what's exciting to me about this is that there's so much more to this topic, and that is what we cover in our upcoming book, which is coming out in Q3. So I'm really excited about it. Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be great. It's really it's a new way to look at leadership, essentially, and it's really for the upcoming leaders and for those that are trying to do things differently and better for the future of work and just for the future of themselves, essentially. So Q3, stay tuned. It's going to be great. And there's going to be a lot more to it than what we're talking about today.
Thanks.